This video was sponsored by Crimson Manifesto. Hey all, not going to take long in an intro here, and I'm also not going to apologize for a little over a year passing between parts 1 and part 2. All I can really say to save time here is things happen. Best thing you can do to make sure the wait times don't get this bad anymore is support as much as you can in the free ways that are available to you. That means liking, commenting, subbing, sharing, etc. And if you just want to do a little bit extra, please consider becoming a patron or channel member, which you can learn more about in the outro if you stick around for that. Also, let's say 1,000 likes and I'll guarantee you guys part 3 and a bit sooner. Now, back to the story. A little more than a year has passed since Goku and Bulma left the Earth on their honeymoon, and the dynamic duo have both enjoyed the time immensely. Bulma due to both the time to experience a new adventure with her bow, as well as allowing her scientific mind to run wild as she's exposed to all kinds of alien tech and concepts, seeing her make or improve on several inventions as products of all the new inspiration. Things like Goku's new capsule jacket, since it wasn't rare at all for her excitable hubby to want to fly off the ship to explore as soon as they arrived to new planets. That, and the need to have him not go flying off into the void during the few mid-flight emergencies they'd had, led to the creation of a garment that uses her old shrinking tech and capsule technology to manifest Goku's spacesuit around him on the fly, and it was also able to act as extra weighted clothing for him. Not to mention, the time alone with the object of her affection, and no big bad world-threatening villains or armies to distract them from each other. Hence, they're growing close enough over the course of the year to already be bickering like an old married couple over the smallest of things. Of course, there have also been more good days than bad days in this young union, partially thanks to Bulma's being both more mature and less demure and innocent than Chi-Chi, continuing to contribute to a more mature and worldly son Goku who can draw on the warm memories of his grandma and grandpa as a blueprint for a healthy relationship. And on top of all of that, the honeymooners are obviously engaged in pretty regular extracurricular activities, and as a result, Bulma is already with child a lot sooner than Chi-Chi was. And as a more modern woman, Bulma couldn't wait to find out the sex of her unborn baby, quickly whipping up an ultrasound machine around the first 3 months after realizing she was preggers, and having Goku carry out the procedure for her. Upon seeing they'd be having a baby girl, both seemed excited. However, Bulma quickly grew ever exasperated by Goku's suggestion of names like Gohan, Roshi, or after his father-in-law, causing the genes to stress that these are all names for men, and making Goku a bit sad as he really wanted to pass on his granddad's name, to which Bulma very happily responds she's game to try for a boy next time, with a suggestive wink. But for now, she really liked the name Bra, and upon hearing it, Goku too is sold, rubbing the small bump on Bulma's tummy and happily chirping that he can't wait to meet and train with Bra. Goku has obviously enjoyed their trip for all these reasons, but also because he's had so much time to explore new places, eat different kinds of space food, and he has certainly been enjoying training with the gravity manipulation machine Bulma had invented after learning from an alien that the Saiyan homeworld apparently had a gravity 10 times that of Earth, as they'd asked if he'd seen anyone resembling Goku. As such, one of Goku's goals has become to work himself up to being able to withstand such forces, and after this year, he's just about done it. And it's been useful, since as they gallivant around the solar system, Goku has been sure to enter into any and all local tournaments, and even a couple sporting events held on some planets they visited. Plus, Bulma still has a tendency to get herself into trouble. This is where you find our heroes now, on a planet by the name of Emeka that seems to be facing severe inflation due to all the high prices Bulma had pointed out on their way to the venue for a fighting tournament, a large bit of the planet's local currency as his prize. Due to his growing strength, Goku has done better in this contest than he has in any of the other ones, as most truly tough aliens he'd faced so far would brag about something called a power level, saying theirs was around 1500. By now, Goku would wager his own was about a 1200 in comparison, so without much issue, he'd secured his place as a finalist. A very fancy-looking pink alien steps onto the arena, announcing himself as Don Key, the leader of Emeka, and generous benefactor of today's entertainment, taking the opportunity to remind the citizens in attendance they'd better save up since another tax increase was coming this year, causing an audible boo to roar out through the crowd as Don Key screeches impatiently, and Goku looks over curiously to his wife in the stands, whom can only really shrug. Tired of the interruptions, Goku excuses himself and asks the Don to bring out his opponent, causing the tyrannical ruler to huff as he gives a lazy introduction of a warrior named Gale, firing Goku up after he hears the guy can apparently take on a whole army by himself. As this is said, a short, dark-skinned alien with a pointy, big-eared head and a red goatee sprints onto the stage, apparently trying to intimidate the Saiyan through his speed alone. But as Don Key leads back to his viewing box and the referee tells him to start, Goku merely sends a shockwave of air from the force of his punch, the blow impacting Gale's center mass of his stubby body and causing his eyes to roll back before he collapses. The ref and crowd all collectively gasp at how quick this match was compared to the earlier ones the strange visitor engaged in, as Don Key turns around in disbelief and yells at Gale to get back up, as he'd bet on him. But the referee calls it, as Gale can already be heard snoring, raising his voice to declare the stranger the winner, before whispering to be reminded of Goku's name, the Saiyan happily giving it out and having the call of Son Goku, the champion of Emeka, ring out. This causes murmurings in the crowd, as Bulma recognizes with every one of these kinds of events or contests they've gone to, Goku's name has become more recognizable, It didn't exactly bother her, but she could only hope it would help Goku's family member find them, as after this, they were planning to return to Earth so Brock could be delivered in a safer environment. Angrily, Don Key steps back onto the arena, another female alien with no nose and an outfit straight out of one of Master Roshi's exercise tapes carrying a briefcase full of money. However, before handing it over, Don Key snatches it, rattling off a list of fees he'd apparently thought up on the spot, and thus handing Goku only a few bills as his actual winnings. Bulma, even though they have absolutely no need of the money, argues against this, calling the Don a cheapskate and causing him to gasp. He then coyly says he would be willing to knock off some of the fees if only Son Goku would become his bodyguard. An offer Goku instantly rejects, but states if he can't take all the winnings, he'd just give it away to everyone, snatching the briefcase back with an innocent grin and zipping over to scoop Bulma onto his back as the two fly up and rain down the cash onto the citizens below, while flying back to the ship. A furious Don Key screeching once again that the Saiyan would rue this day. He'd rue it. During the gentle flight, Bulma asked if Goku enjoyed his match, to which the Saiyan sighed it was terrible. The guy was less than half his strength after all. Feeling a bit bad for him, she coos that her big tough guy will be alright, and tries to lighten the mood by suggesting that Ten Shinhan and the others may have done some serious training in his absence, so as to keep Piccolo in line, so maybe one of them would fight him when they returned. This works, as Goku becomes excited enough to rush the final stretch to the ship, excitedly telling Bulma to skip all the boring pre-flight checks, which she only does this time due to the sound of Emeka's army currently bearing down on them. As they blast off, she tells Goku their ETA to Earth, and says she's going to contact her parents to ready for their return, stating she's in the mood to host a welcome back party and a baby shower all in one. Goku is ecstatic about this idea, and so agrees to personally go and gather everyone else. After a few weeks of travel, the Earth is in sight, and the reception from Dr. Briefs and Bikini is very warm, the mother extremely excited to see her daughter's baby bump, and the father congratulating Goku and picking his brain on the stars. However, as he is too excited to reunite with his friends, Goku asks to get back to this convo later, as he bursts into the air, deciding to stop by Kame House first. It is only a short stop, as Krillin and Roshi are very happy to reunite with him, and agree to head over to Capsule Corp soon to truly catch up, as Goku heads over to Fire Mountain next, allowing him to meet back up with Chi-Chi and the Ox King. Happy to see his friend has seemingly moved past her feelings for him and is now running her father's kingdom fairly well, it seems. They too agree to attend, and then soon it's off to a local baseball game, where he finds Yamcha and is pointed to a foreign location Ten Shinhan and Chaozu are training in. Learning the duo had apparently successfully defeated Piccolo after he decided to make an attempt to claim the Earth in his absence. Goku soon appears before the two, whom as well are fairly astonished by his power, and they too agree to come to the party after Goku claims he'd be hoping to have a big group spar to see how everyone has progressed. Next, he heads to Kami and Corns, inviting the cat and Yajirobe, and then heading up to do the same to Earth's Guardian and Mr. Popo, only to receive a polite refusal. However, once Goku asks where Piccolo is, Kami points him in the right direction, seemingly a lot less worried now that his strongest fighter is back on Earth. Goku goes there as well, shocking Piccolo as he believes this must mean the kind-hearted warrior is there to kill him finally, only to be shocked as Goku invites him to a party of all things. He of course refuses and demands a proper fight, after being kept waiting for a whole year. Goku tilts his head and guesses that's fair, but he doesn't think it'll be a very enjoyable battle, as he releases his full power for Piccolo to see. The would-be Demon King is floored by this, but remains resolute, as he sheds his weight and leaps at Goku, only to be blown through a mountainside by a Ki. Goku flies up to him, and apologizes while helping him get unstuck, stating he thinks Piccolo ought to rethink his path to power, as there's no telling how strong he and the rest of the guys could have gotten had they all trained together. Piccolo roars back that he's not one of the guys, but Goku only chuckles at him, skipping completely past this and actually inviting Piccolo to come train with him sometime, or better yet, join he and Bulma next time they go into space, since as the demon could see, the trip had done wonders for his training. At this, Piccolo goes silent, his face flushing as it's clear Son Goku no longer considers him a threat, and has apparently embraced him as a friend. This angers him, but also elicits a strange feeling he's never known before, and thus, he quietly scouts back that he'll think about it, shooing the Saiyan away so he can get back to his training. Goku reminds him of the party and all the good food if Piccolo changes his mind, but Piccolo roars back that he doesn't eat, as the rich communicator Bulma had made Goku beats with a call from her, causing him to excuse himself as he flies away, chirping a happy, "Hi honey, what's up?" as he answers. Bulma is simply checking up on his progress, and upon hearing everyone is on their way, responds the caterers and such have thankfully done fast work, so things should be ready upon the return. She wasn't only calling for that though, and so has sent Goku coordinates to a remote island where her sister Tights lives, sweat dropping that she'd been so excited on their wedding day she'd forgotten to invite her, and had apparently really hurt her feelings. And since he was the fastest thing on Earth currently, she was hoping he wouldn't mind going to invite her personally and introduce himself. Goku obviously has no issues with this, studying the map for a few minutes before zooming off to meet up with his sister-in-law. It goes without saying that Tights and the old man she was currently tinkering with are shocked to see a loud, spiky-haired man suddenly fly onto their island as he introduces himself. This causes Tights to quickly become pouty, as she demands an explanation as to why no one thought to invite her to the supposed wedding of the century on God's palace. Goku's sweat drops, realizing his wife has thrown him under the bus, and begins to apologize and explain, mentioning they once found out he was an alien called a Saiyan, and Bulma had made a spaceship as a gift for their honeymoon, so as soon as the reception was over, they'd blasted off into space. When his explanation is over, both Tights and the old man named Omori go pale in the face, Goku asking if they're alright, as they suddenly very nervously agree things are just fine, telling him they'll get ready and head over to Capsule Corp immediately. This causes Goku to chuckle and tell them he can't wait to party the night away, as he zooms off once again. As soon as he is gone, Tight sprints inside, locating a communicator and desperately calling someone whom picks up entirely too slow for her liking. She then frantically yells into the phone that the Saiyan he'd been looking for had finally shown up on Earth, and he wouldn't believe who he was. But the self-proclaimed super elite on the other end doesn't wait for further explanation, apparently rocketing towards Earth immediately. A while later, everyone is at the party and enjoying themselves. Bulma, as everyone comes up to congratulate her and compliment how much she is glowing, and Goku as he engages his pals in short spars, with even Chi-Chi revealing she's continuing her training and trying Goku, showing everyone the breadth of power between them, as they all agree it'd be fun to enter the next Tenkaichi Budokai in 2 years to see how well they can catch up and take the Saiyan, firing Goku up and causing him to suggest he'll invite Piccolo, which dampens a few of the other warriors' moves, as they don't share his view of the demon as so harmless yet. Mr. Omori and Dr. Briefs are racked up in examining Bulma's ship and snooping through the workshop she has on it, while Tights is interrogating her sister, partially still angry about being left out of the wedding and partially out of concern after being told that Saiyans were incredibly crude and dangerous creatures. Bulma waves this off, citing that everyone they'd asked in space about Goku's relatives said the same thing, but heard Goku is apparently very special among his people, and on top of it, there already weren't many of them left, so it didn't make sense to discriminate against them anyway. Besides that, he was pretty much the strongest man in the solar system, and still such a sweetheart, even if he was a bit dull every now and then, relaxing her sister that with the Saiyan around, she'd have nothing to worry about, and she'd soon have a half Saiyan niece. This makes Tights sigh in relief, as she looks to Goku laughing and joking with his buddies. However, the Saiyan's eyes suddenly shoot towards the sky, as he senses something powerful approaching, warning everyone to be careful as suddenly another spaceship lands at high speed next to his own. A small, purple and white-clad bug-eyed alien leaping from it and front-flipping like a show-off, as he lands in front of a sweat-dropping Goku, aiming a blaster at his face and claiming that he's under arrest. But that, friends, is where we'll be leaving this story off for right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm well aware this is a pretty short comeback for the story after the beginning was about twice as long as this. For those actually interested in why, remember writing just isn't that easy, and custom art is a big part of the quality I strive for and that you guys enjoy from me. But that gets harder if I can't get consistent work from artists or just don't have the funds to pay for it. Thankfully, I've found some more consistent and even affordable artists, and as I've tried to be more consistent in 2023, funds haven't been quite as tight. However, direct support from you guys is always much appreciated and goes an extremely long way in helping with that and keeping me motivated, since all of that goes directly back into the channel and its videos. You can become a channel member, though I don't recommend that as much as I do becoming a patron, since YouTube takes so much of what you donate to me. As a patron, for as little as $1 a month, you can get shoutouts at the end of videos. For $5 a month, you get that and early access to content, as well as the odd Patreon exclusive. And for $50 a month, a select few people like Crimson Manifesto can be listed as official sponsors for my videos via Patreon. And speaking of these wonderful people, a big heartfelt thank you to B, Adrian Carr, Daniel Smith, Inebriated, Coder SV3, John Sullivan, Trent Rao, Dark Shadows, Pokemon Trainer Cam, River Joy, Arcana of the Heart, Jay Uray, Infernate Beast 326, Omar Cousin, Squad 100, Stephen Norton, Vegito What Ifs, Shao P, Dylan Wolf Dog 31, Cordell Sanders, and Crimson Manifesto. Again, you guys do so much to go above and beyond to keep the lights on for the channel and just make my life easier as a content creator, and it really does mean a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the other viewers, so thank you. With all that said though, I'm going to go ahead and take my leave, so be sure to take care of yourselves and the world around you, and as always, go beyond plus ultra. See you guys next time.